All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what happened there, man, but hey, welcome to today's live stream. So, if you were watching the other video, I've deleted it right now, but yeah, I was halfway through the video and it just cut. Okay, so we shall start again and hope. I don't know what the hell that was, man. It just completely cut me off. Fastest end stream of all time. Yes, Tino trading the bombings, so they bomb his stream. That is sad. Yeah, I did get rug pulled. All right, listen. So just for anyone that is new coming through and just a recap. So, okay, we were just talking about the story of what's going on with oil and gold. And I was talking about a position that I took yesterday or last night, trading the drop on the NASDAQ over here, where we were trading back into the vector candles, which is this area right here. And the reasoning for that, well, there's the play right there. Just quickly just do this just to make it so that we don't have that issue. There you go. So we made £12,752 last night, opening puts on the NASDAQ. Okay. And the reason for that was because they were going back into the vectors, but primarily because of the announcement about Israel with its attacks. And if you go back historically, you'll know that anytime they mention that there's going to be an attack, they end up doing the attack shortly afterwards. And then that's what led me to make the move to the downside. And quite frankly, I felt like shit for it. But money was made, the play was made, the trade was taken. And this is where you have to just literally say, you're either in the business or not. And you've just got to come here with a cutthroat mentality. And it is dog eat dog world. And that's the sad truth, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Speaking of which, we were talking about Bitcoin. Now, this dude here, this whale, who's switched his position from long to short on Bitcoin. He's already switched it and lost 12.4 million. My bro, like, come on, man. That is, even if you're, it's just so bad when they do that. Because now people are like looking at these guys, and even though they're whales, people can convince themselves that whales know something. They clearly ain't got the right picture, okay? But just think about this right now. Think about it. Macroeconomically speaking, you do not have the environment for risk on when you think about it. Your bonds are battered. The safe havens are going up like euro and gold. You've just got this problem right now regarding Israel. Trump's going to be speaking to Benjamin later on. And then you've got all other nations coming in with their point of view about it. He's talking about the fact that it's going to be continuing for a little while. Where is it? Yeah, he's going to be, isn't it ironic how I put that up there and that happened? But he's talking about the fact that the operation will continue for many days. So we know that we've got tensions right now. Quickly going over into gold and gold and oil. So here's oil right now, nearly up 7.83%. What did Trump say yesterday? Oil is cheap. Oil is cheap. Not anymore, Mr. Trump. Not anymore. Your oil has shot up because traders are rushing to commodities right now. Now we have another factor that could impact inflation. And Powell's going to be there with his glasses, taking them off, thinking, we may as well just keep the interest rates high. On that basis, gold. Gold is making a nice significant move to the upside, ladies and gentlemen. You can see we are heading towards all-time highs. Gold will claim its all-time highs very, very soon. And you can see that this consolidation right here is preparing gold for another rally to the upside. My next price target projection is the $4,000 mark with gold. 4K on gold. That is absolutely wild. Dollar yen seems to be coming up as well. Now, the only reason that dollar yen is going up right now is because investors are taking profits as well on the euro. They're pulling it back because euro hit its yearly highs yesterday. But we've also got a problem here that euro is more than likely going to attack this range at some point in the future. But quickly going over to dollar dominance, again, you can see that it's done a nice little V-shaped reversal. And of course, the NASDAQ itself has come down. But when we look at the bigger picture of the NASDAQ, all of the problems that we've got, financially speaking, when it comes to war and it triggers investors' fear, the stock market will then factor all of that in, and then the stock market will roll. Okay? Now, remember, we've been seeing a buildup of distribution days on the stock market. What have we been saying all week? Here we go. Let's go back to it. 4 days distribution on the NASDAQ, 5 on the S&P. If today continues the way it's going, that will be 5 days distribution on the NASDAQ and 6 days distribution on the S&P. That is consistent with a correction pending, okay? Going into the volume bars right now, let's have a look at it. Go to NASDAQ. And we can see that, of course, yesterday's price action, we haven't, you know, we had this big volume right here, but equally, that's probably going to be met with another distribution day. And if the NASDAQ does trade negative for the rest of the day, okay, I mean, look, they've got a bit of a journey to go up to, but that doesn't mean NASDAQ can't do that, okay? But ultimately, you've got to be very mindful at the fact that if NASDAQ does trade negatively, then we could be in line for a corrective move, okay? It all depends on what's going on with regards to this war that's happening overseas. Now, quickly going over into Bitcoin to put it into perspective for you all. It's doing okay to say the least, given that it's come back with a bit of a rejection. The problem is everyone now that's gone short is now paying the price for it because Bitcoin's done a snap reversal. And they've done it on the back of the fact that Bitcoin is dropping. You do not go short when prices are dropping. Do you understand that? You don't go short when price drops. You go short when price rises. Why? Because you sell from the highest point. You don't sell from the lowest point. Look. Let me show you something. I can't believe that happened to my life. That never happens. All right, then. In front of you is the Bitcoin liquidations chart, which usually shows you the entries, okay? Look at this dude here. Went short. Saw a little bit of success, but it equally came back up again, okay? Now, a lot of people were going long, which is fair play to you, okay? But when you look closely, can you see these shorts? They're coming into play, and then the longs come in as well, and they equally get matched, right? This is what you've got to be careful of. Going short from the lowest point. Bang, reverses it into... Isn't it mad how it can go straight back up? So look at this candlestick here. You see this candle entry right there? That person went short at that point, okay? Look at the next candle. Comes in, creates the illusion it's going to go down, traps the trader, convinces more people, and then equally comes all the way back up to the T, man. Look at that. That is just disgusting. Look at that. It just comes all the way back up and just wipes the range, okay? Now, you can see that you've got a few guys going long inside of here, which is good. You go long at the lowest point. But look at this guy. He went short there. If you're ever going to be going short in these ranges, ladies and gentlemen, and the candle that opens afterwards gives you a bit of a wick but doesn't follow through and doesn't break out of the range and continue lower, get out, man. You're just going to be burning money because look at how aggressive it moves up. Then it makes you believe it's going to go back up to only bring it back down again. The only way that you can really take advantage of things like this, guys, is if you go into the smaller time frames and you look at the 1 minute time frame. Some people will be like, what the hell, 1 minute time frame? But just look what happened at these lows on Bitcoin, okay? Look, tell me what you see. What do you guys see from a structural perspective? Because there are people that say that there's no such thing as patterns in trading and what have you. It's all about time. It's all about volume. It's all okay, fine. But this is a representation of where people were agreeing about something, okay? What do you see? Okay, you do see a little W formation right here. You see price breaking out away from it. Then you've got this range here, okay? Where you've got price consolidating sideways, right? You could be taking longs on any of these vector candles. Why? Because you've got the environment. Whoa. You've got the environment above to suggest that price could come back up to recover that vector candle. And it's just experienced a sharp move to the downside. Now, naturally, if you caught this blue vector candle right here, happy days, W formation, second leg, up she goes. Then you're taking some profits, happy days. You're not going to grab the full move, but you can grab something because they will always repeat this same thing over and over again. Okay? They do it all the time. It's always, and that's why I say to you, always sell from the highest point. So look, yesterday's setup on Bitcoin. This is for the Platinum members. If you're interested in this, get yourself involved. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Look at this. We expected Bitcoin to mark up, to then come down, to hit that 105 zone, okay? We go back into it. Look, go up to come down. We're looking for shorts, right? Let's go back into it. That's what they did. They came up and then came down. You short from the highest point. After everything's been moving up, imagine everyone's buying and buying. At the same time, you guys know that they're selling. Look at all these guys that were selling up here. 8 million, 2 million, 16 million, 3 million. Like they were selling on the way up. Okay? And then they just ripped it all the way back down again and the TP got smashed. You know? Did the same thing for Ethereum. Wanted to see Ethereum come down. She ripped it lower. And then, of course, Solana. It was a very interesting day, to say the least. And if those guys held on to this trade, they would have seen more, because they just came straight back into the psychological ranges. It has been an absolute wild, wild evening. And that's what I mean about the Asian session. It is great at these times. But when you've got war and what have you, it can be a bit of a problem, ladies and gentlemen, you know. Anyways, any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any questions that you've got for me? Tino, is it possible that crypto futures are utterly manipulated and the liquidations are providing fuel for the US debt repayment, given that the market is growing so fast? Well, it's in front of you, isn't it? Look, what have you got here? You got a ton load of shorts. This is open interest. This is money that is borrowed, okay? You know? Futures does actually have a massive impact on spot price. It does. The analysts use the futures pricing as an indication of Bitcoin's futuristic price models and price predictions, because that's where the volume is. Most of the volume is there on Bitcoin, on the futures. All of it is there. Okay. Did anyone buy Circle IPO? Well, it's going to be an interesting one. Give us some points and resistance in your opinion for Bitcoin. Well, it depends on what kind of time frame trader you are, but let's just go to the holders for a second. Okay. Right now, Bitcoin has tested the 50 EMA and reversed away from it quite aggressively at that. So that's a good area of support right here. Okay. What you guys need to be looking out for is as follows. You've got these imbalances. These are a problem. Okay. And we're here again, guys. You know, go back in the live streams, ladies and gentlemen. Go back to my live streams. I've said to you every single time, they will come back to this vector, they will come back to this vector, and then the bull market starts up here. Everyone's all happy days. And I'm there like, be careful, it'll come back to this vector. It needs to stay above the 5 and 13 EMA. If it breaks the 5 and 13 EMA, we've got a problem. Breaks the 5 and 13 EMA, and then it rolls, goes back into the vector. Okay? We've got the same story right here. Take whatever logic you want about Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin dropped because of war, well, that's not good. Why should Bitcoin drop because of war? Well, it's packed now, isn't it? You got all the boys buying it, and they've got Wall Street mentality. And I say this over and over and over again. Are we going to see any purchases or sales coming into play? Okay, so we got some nice purchases from BlackRock last night, okay? Now BlackRock has just transferred 300 Bitcoin into Coinbase. So I mean, they bought 300 yesterday. Now they've transferred 300 back. It's like, so I mean, people are like that, you know? People don't want the risk. We go over to other asset marketplaces and think, hold on a second, is there a possibility that we're going to see this continue to move to the upside? Well, the volatility chart itself is climbing up. And as long as this keeps on moving up, then we're going to have ourselves a problem. But that means everything is going to be on the cheap. So you're preparing yourself for the next run. This is what you've got to be careful of, ladies and gentlemen. Bro, do you think the futures trading of camels go up like crazy now? Probably. Bitcoin dropped because Trump broke up with Elon. Now he said he's his friend, and he pumped yesterday, which is an absolute shit show. I just can't take that seriously. How is it that Trump says he sees Elon as a friend, the market pumps? Since when does that actually influence anything? Yeah, you would think Bitcoin would be rising during uncertainty, but there's not enough of you holding Bitcoin, and there's not enough of you from Wall Street holding Bitcoin, because you got Wall Street mentality in Bitcoin. They just want yield. You know, they're not interested in anything else. Buy gold. This is it. Tino, your live was suspended because you used the word from, they say, nah, surely not. They would have disconnected it. They would have disconnected my YouTube, okay, but not my OBS. My OBS just said no. So it's got nothing to do with that. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? And we'll keep this short and sweet for those of you that are new, okay? Traders Reality homepage. Go over there. You get the free PDF, and you can download the hybrid system and how to use it as well. There's a free course as well, all right? But yeah, just follow this video and download this. You'll get so much information on it, man. It's free of charge to do so, and you get the indicator down below. You can join the Discord, and if you want to be a Platinum member, go to join and get the Platinum membership, and you'll get these sort of setups. And it's been hard doing these setups, but we've had a great week. It's been very difficult, to say the least. But yeah, this is the kind of breakdown that you get with the trade setups. Okay, cool. Come on, anything else? And the entire idea of MicroStrategy. Yeah, the idea of MicroStrategy. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how MicroStrategy is going to open. I want to see the open with you guys. I just want to see what the open is saying right now. MicroStrategy is not even gapping down. Just quickly going over into NVIDIA and the rest of the gang just to see where we are with that. NVIDIA is gapping down at the open. Tesla is gapping down. Amazon. Where's Adobe? Hold on. How's Adobe doing? They're gapping down quite bad, so they may not have done too well in their earnings estimates. You know, do you always mention the US Brinks or the UK Brinks? UK Brinks doesn't have as much madness as the US Brinks, but primarily, I mean, the UK Brinks was my bread and butter trading, man. I mean, lately, I'm not looking at trading. I'll be honest with you guys. When I trade, I'm trading on the depth of market. I'm scalping all the time. But the way I've got to trade right now is I've got to play options. I'm playing options right now because it's getting very difficult given the uncertainty of what's going on in the marketplace. So like last night, I played that option. Yeah, we made some good money, but it was so much more relaxing because I didn't have to worry about anything. When you open an option, you're working on ranges, okay? But when you're scalping, you are diving into the smallest time frame and looking for every single indiscrepancy or any imbalance that price could return to and react from, okay? So that's the frustrating thing about it. And yeah, I'm going to be rolling into my options trading again because it makes life so much easier. And, you know, you put down a couple of grand and you either lose that couple of grand or you can make so much afterwards. I mean, my exposure on this, I put down 2.5 grand. I put down £2,500 for that exposure and we came out with nearly 13 grand. So, but that was obviously exploiting the news, you know, and the short to the downside. If it wasn't the news, I would have expected NASDAQ to continue to go down, okay, coming into the open of the Asian session, because that's what they do. They like to just correct back into the vectors. They were struggling up here, stopping volume candles, and then they just rolled it down. I would have at least gone down towards the midpoint of the vector candle, but because it was all happening, I was compelled to hold on and caught the whole move to the downside. Like we stopped off at this range here. So I couldn't complain about that at all. Silver. What do I think about silver? Silver's now at $36 if I'm correct. When we just go over to silver, here we get 36. Trading like XRP, but I do have an expectation that silver's going to $50 an ounce. Gold's going to 4,000. Gold ain't going to stop. Your market's about to open, right? Your market is open right now. So now we're going to get free roam and understand exactly where we are with the marketplace and their reactions to things. It's going to be very, very interesting. Okay, then. So the mood data's come in and we've got sell side 520 million, buy side 140 on the S&P. NASDAQ 100, sell side 17 million, buy side 26. Difference is 8. And then the Dow is down nearly 93 million in sell side and 18 million on buy side, and the Mag 7 collectively is 5.9 million sell side and buy side 13 million. So it's going to be an interesting one to say the least, guys. Trump warns Iran of even more brutal attacks without nuclear deal. Oh, he's coming out with it. Trump to Wall Street Journal. I spoke with Israel. Hold on. I spoke with Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu on Thursday and plan to speak with him again today. So he's spoken to him and he still did it. That's going to be crazy. That is very, very crazy. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? Other than that? No, not on there. No, this is on IG. There we go. NASDAQ moving up. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be careful. All right. Any news that comes out, if price marks up, just be mindful. The sentiment is more attacks, more concerns. America get involved. That's going to be a problem for the marketplace. Everyone will run to safe haven, silver, gold, and potentially yen and euro. Okay. So just take that into consideration when you are trading today. You've got data coming out in the next 30 minutes, which is the preliminary consumer sentiment. Just be on the lookout for that. And I will be speaking to you all on Monday. Please trade safely, ladies and gentlemen. And sometimes not trading is still deemed as a position. All right. Take care of yourselves, gang. Sorry about the mess up earlier on, and I'll tune into you all later. Peace.